A couple months ago, I bought a POC Axion and I rode it for about 10 hours and 100 miles before I decided that I didn't really like it. I replaced it with a Giro Montaro. I'm going to compare both of these helmets and I'm going to tell you why I think the Montaro is the better helmet. The POC Axion has the better finish overall. The transitions between this polycarbonate outer and the EPS foam are very smooth and nice, and you can tell that a lot of attention to detail went into this helmet. But that's where the Advantage POC ends. The POC Axion has a 360 system, and what I really feel when I tighten this helmet down is just a halo ring around my head getting tighter and tighter, pushing my head into this spin material at the front. Already after about 10 hours of use, the silicone is starting to deteriorate and feel lumpy in the front of this liner. Also, the shearing pad liner in this helmet sits right on top of the EPS. And that means when you put this helmet on, it really feels very much like you're just wearing a bucket on top of your head. This spin liner is already showing that it doesn't want to attach to the Velcro. It just flops around in there. And sometimes when I pick up this helmet to put it on my head, that spin liner is just dangling. And I have to flip it back over, tuck it back into the Velcro, and try to put it on my head before it falls out again. The Montaro has a MIPS liner, and how MIPS works is it has a plastic liner and then there are fuzzy pads that liner will slide around on top of. In addition to that, Montaro has the X-Static foam liner, which is hydrophilic, and it absorbs sweat and pulls it away so it doesn't run down into your eyes, but then it dries out really quickly after a ride. Both helmets come with a rear cradle. The POC Axion's rear cradle is just a straight line across the back of the head. They're 3-position adjustable on both of these helmets, but what I found is that the POC Axion tends to ride very poorly on the back of my head across the occipital bone. By contrast, the Giro Montaro has 2 contact points on the back of the cradle that really hug the back of the occipital bone. Giro's Rock Lock 5 adjustment system does a better job because it is integrated in with the MIPS liner, and so when you adjust it, it feels like it tightens around your whole head. On the POC Axion, the hangers for the chin strap go inside of the helmet before penetrating into the EPS foam. What that means is when you're wearing this helmet, the chin strap rides against your cheek and it moves around. And now that's a minor annoyance, but I can see after a long day of bike packing, if you have a sunburn, this can probably be pretty irritating. The Giro Montaro's chin strap penetrates in through the PC shell before it goes into the foam core, and that's away from the rider's face, so I don't really feel those chin straps touching my face when I'm riding wearing the Montaro. Both of these helmets are the same size at 59 to 62 centimeters. POC calls this an extra large to double extra large helmet, and Giro calls this a large helmet. For my head at least, the Giro Montaro fits much better, and I like the way it floats around on that MIPS pad. You can see when wearing the Giro Montaro, it slides around on your head with that MIPS liner in there, and it feels like it's floating on my head. At least for my head, it's a much more comfortable helmet. Now I weighed both of these helmets and they both come in under 1 pound at 14 1/8 ounce. Now I'll show you some features that the Giro Montaro has that the POC Axion does not have. The Giro Montaro is goggle compatible. The 3 vents here in the back have rubberized rings around them, and you can see that there's a goggle channel. Additionally, the Giro Montaro has an adjustable peak just like the POC Axion. However, it will go into a much higher position so that you can place your goggles on the front of the helmet while you're riding it. One interesting feature that the Giro Montaro has is you have the ability to mount a GoPro mount to it. I don't usually use a camera on top of my helmet. However, I do use a bike light on it. And this is an interesting feature. It plugs right into the top of the helmet. I like this very much for riding with a bike light. One of the cool features that they built into it is it has a breakaway system. So if you hit a branch, it just pops right off. I really like this feature of being able to add a bike light to it on a GoPro mount. That is super duper. I like this because you're not gluing a mounting point to your helmet. You're not using that strap thing that you can add to a helmet that's gonna rip your head off if you hit something with it. And I think this is a really safe feature for you to use with a camera or with a light. One neat feature about the Giro Montaro that I didn't realize when I first bought it is that on the back of the cradle there are reflective strips that are built into the material and applied there. And that's just a neat detail that many people might overlook. I didn't mention anything about safety of either of these helmets, and I'm not going to impact test them by dropping weights on them or anything. I will say that both of these helmets pass the Consumer Product Safety Commission in the United States, in addition to the EN 1078 tests in Europe. So ostensibly, They're both safe helmets. I know that people will say, ooh, MIPS is better for shearing. And other people might say that POC, ooh, it has better foam in the back or on the temple areas. I'm not a mechanical engineer, and I'm gonna rely on those two standard bodies to tell me that these are safe helmets for me to wear on my head. If you have about $150 and you're looking for a helmet, I would certainly recommend the Montaro. However, if you don't need all of the features of the Montaro, I would even recommend my old Giro Chronicle. It has many of the features of the Montaro, but it comes in at about $30 to $40 cheaper than the Montaro. Given a choice between these two helmets, I know which one I'm wearing. Later. I didn't thread it through the hole. I didn't thread it through the hole because I'm dumb.